Hey guys, so I am back with another ARC review, and I have to say that I am pleasantly surprised with this one. Kind of shocked I liked it. It felt like something I shouldn't have liked, but I did, and we're gonna talk about it. So again, this is an ARC review, so thank you so much to the publisher and Edelweiss for letting me have a free advanced review copy of Will They or Won't They by Ava Wilder. Now, as I understand it, this is not Ava Wilder's first book. However, this is the first book of theirs that I have read, so I don't really know anything about this author, except that I think also their previous book was also like a Hollywood-style romance. One of the things that immediately kind of made me a little bit worried about how I was going to take this book is that it's a really similar setup to a book I reviewed not like recently, but also not that long ago, which was The Reunion. And that was also a second chance romance with two Hollywood stars returning to a previously beloved TV show to reprise their roles after a while apart, and a lot of things have happened. And I was like, oh man, I kind of hate when that happens in a close period of time because I'm always comparing the books in my head. But here's the major difference. I believe one of my main takeaways from The Reunion was it was a single POV romance, and I liked that, which was weird, but also it was like very low on like drama. It was very smooth. That's not this book in any of those ways. So this is the story of Shane and Lila. Shane and Lila first met when they were auditioning for a brand new supernatural style show called Intangible. And Lila had been trying to work in the industry for a significant period of time. She had gotten some bit parts, but never really a big break, which is what she thought this show could be for her. And Shane, on the other hand, had never planned on being an actor. He was discovered at his place of work, where he was a bartender, by one of the casting directors for this show, who had told him to come and audition. And so while they are in different places, maybe expecting different things from this, they come in for the chemistry read, and it is clear from go that there is chemistry, and it is quite possibly what gets them the roles. Now, one of the things that I did like about this is that it is dual POV. I love dual POVs, I need them, and you would not be able to get through this book without that quality. That is because the state of play when the book opens after this prologue where you see their first meeting is that Shane and Lila have become basically bitter enemies. And so basically this is the state of play. Intangible is about to start its final season, its 9th season. And Lila's character actually left the show because she made that decision back after season 5. Now, what no one knows is that after the first season, during which she and Shane were together, they had a very, very messy breakup. So basically seasons 2 through 5 were them just like being impossible to film with, at each other's throats all the time. And things came to a head in season 5, you know, when Lila just said enough. She went off to try to make her name in movies. It bombed horribly. And so now she is back because the showrunners want to give their characters this final get-together send-off. There is a lot of history between these two characters, and I feel like this book really only scratches the surface because they have done a lot of mean things to each other. And so when I say the dual POV is really, really important, I think it's because the characters can come off as incredibly unlikable, particularly in the beginning when it just becomes clear that their favorite pastime is messing with the other person, and not really in nice ways. Not like overtly mean, but just like clearly they are having goes at each other. What the dual POV I think offers you from the beginning is enough of this feeling that there's clearly something else going on here, and also the feeling that they both recognize themselves as a toxic person in this relationship. Like, they're fine and nice and wonderful to other people, but when they interact with each other, they just become the worst version of themselves. And while they blame the other person quite a bit, they're also looking at themselves and going like, I don't get why I become this person. I don't like this person that I'm becoming, but I'm feeding this, right? Like, I'm helping this happen. And I think even though they come off as unlikable because of the way that they're like hecking at each other in the beginning, the drigs that you get from the dual POV, like the internal monologue, for me helped me push through to be like, I just feel like there are people with real feelings in here who have been hurt and are lashing out, and it's going to be great when they finally acknowledge that. Personally, I do think that that's what happened in this story, and it's what kept me engaged. When I started reading this book, I was like, oh, well, I'll just read a few chapters and then I'll go make dinner and be a responsible adult. I have not yet been a responsible adult. I sat on my couch and I read the entire book in one sitting, and I still haven't eaten dinner or done any of the adult tasks I promised myself that I would do, because I was like, I just had to get to the part where they just like felt all of their feelings with each other. I had to get there, so I just read the entire book. One of the things that is great is that when the two of them are sniping at each other so badly that they're making it really, really hard for everyone else to film, you know, then it's impacting their professional work. The studio that they're working for actually sends them to couples therapy, and it's a small part of it, but I think it really makes sure that when they do begin to open up to each other, it's not through sex, which is oftentimes, I think, in some second chance romances, like, you know, they still really hate each other, but man, were they good in bed. And while Lila and Shane do say, yeah, no, that is a thing, because they are forced to go to these couples therapy sessions and actually have meaningful conversations with each other, this is a book that is definitely a slow burn, and it saves the physical stuff for the end and focuses on them like unpacking 9 to 10 years of them just really making a mess of their entire friendship, relationship, acquaintanceship, professional careers together. And I really loved that. I thought that that was wonderful, and was also another reason to just like read it in one sitting, because I was like, eventually this slow burn is gonna ignite. I just need to get there. I almost did feel like this book could have benefited from being a little bit longer, because it really tried to honor the sheer amount of years that this like backstory has been taking on. Shane and Lila have had other relationships that have failed for a variety of reasons. They have had friendships that have come and gone. They have had professional ups and downs. They have things going on with their family. There's a lot of really complicated backstory and secondary characters that are in this, which, as you know, if you know anything about me, is something that I really, really love and appreciate and respect and adore in my romance novels. I don't want it to just be surface level with the two characters. I want there to be a whole bunch of other like deeper personal journeys going on. And I am a little bit worried that the book tried to fit in a little bit too much, and therefore nothing really got the spotlight that it really deserved. However, like I said, I really respect that Ava Wilder went out of their way to make sure that was all in there. And it just made me love the story even more, because there was a lot of complex things going on. There is no trope I love more than a well done second chance romance. And like I said, I understand that their unlikability in the beginning might be a stumbling block for some people, but for me, I actually really liked that, because like I said, it wasn't just them being petty and mean for petty and meanness sake. I really got the sense that they were just hurt and just trying to muddle through like a lack of emotional intelligence really around this situation. And so I held on and got to the later parts of the book, which I think were really great. I thought the resolution was a little bit rushed. We had been waiting for a lot of stuff to happen, and then it just kind of went bam, bam, bam. And I was like, no, draw it out. But you know, there's only so much room in this book. And I always say that if the thing that I have like the most criticism about is that I wish there was more of this book, it's not really a criticism, isn't it? It's mostly just me being like, I wish there was more book to this book, because I liked what was in the book. Again, I hate to like rank, but I will say that I think this book was, just for me, it had way more of what I love in a second chance like Hollywood style romance. So I would definitely rate this above The Reunion for me. It's just way more of a me style book. So if you liked The Reunion and want something that's similar but different, 100% I think you should pick up this book when it comes out, you know, from your local library, your local bookstore, however it is that you access your books. I think it's a really good like next book. If you are a fan of the second chance romance and aren't sure how you feel about the Hollywood setting, I would still give this one a chance just because it really is focused so much on Shane and Layla's like lack of emotional intelligence rather than, I mean, the Hollywood setting is definitely very, very present, but I wouldn't say that it overwhelms their emotional storyline if that's what you like about a second chance romance. The one stumbling block, like I said, is that if you have a hard time connecting with them in the beginning, you don't like characters who come off as a little bit unlikable at first, that might be hard getting started with this. But like I said, for me, I got over it. I believed in the story and it 100% won me over. So I can just say that that's my own opinion. Yours might be different, but it was a concern that I had that ended up not being a concern in the end, which I adored. Again, this book is not out yet if you are watching this review right after I post it, but it will be very, very soon, so you can have it on your radar, potentially read the reunion while you're waiting for it if this is like a combination of tropes that you like. Either way, I was very excited to finish and read this one, but now I am very, very hungry and I have chores that are not done that were supposed to be done before my fiance came home. So I'm gonna go do that. Thanks guys, bye.